Hello, this is Andrew Thake from Mines and Money, and delighted I'm being joined today by Johnny Velloza, Chief Operating Officer of Avalon Mining. Great to have you with us, Johnny.
Thank you, Andrew, and thanks for having us.
Great. Let's start off by an opening question. Some of our viewers might not be familiar with who Avalon Mining are. Can you give us a brief synopsis?
Yeah, Avalon Mining is a very new company. It's a private company which was started by our CEO, Pierre-Yves Rigaud. Pierre has a history and a background in corporate finance, having been the CFO of Trafigura's Asia office for a long time, based in Hong Kong. Pierre is now relocated to Mongolia, where our focus is. And our private company is focused on developing mines in Mongolia and in the broader region if the opportunity arises. Right now, we have one key focus area, which is the development of a mine in Mongolia. It's a wonderful copper molybdenum asset that is quite far advanced, but I guess we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes, Andrew.
With regards to Mongolia, I know, again, a lot of our investors listening in on this call will have differing views about Mongolia as a mining investment destination. What would you say to those investors?
I think their fears are obviously justified, because there have been some issues in the past, and it's clear that Mongolia has got a bit of a checkered history. But we've got to take into consideration, Andrew, that there is a new government in place. This new government has got a new constitution, and they are very, very vocal about supporting the mining industry. It is a big part of their economy. It is a big part of the opportunity to create wealth and develop the country. There are some terrific assets in that country that are working well now. Admittedly, yes, they've had their problems in the past. And we're quite confident that the new government gives us a stable regime within which we can operate, gives us a stable mining legislation. And in fact, we're at advanced stages of discussions with the government about making sure that we have a document that is in place that ring fences us from any future changes in legislation. So we're very confident that the investment environment in Mongolia is changing for the better.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of your mine, there are a lot of really great and interesting copper mining projects out there. What makes your copper mining project stand out from the rest of the crowd?
Yeah, I think two things, Andrew. Firstly, our proximity to China. We are very close to the Chinese market. We are 165 kilometers from Oyu Tolgoi, so there's a lot of infrastructure in place around us that gives us the ability to transport our concentrate, because we will be producing a copper molybdenum concentrate. There are options to get it into China very cheaply. So I think that is one very compelling differentiator for us. The other one, Andrew, is that this project is 46% complete. So about $400 million have already been spent on the operation, and quite a bit of the infrastructure has been built. The project has been de-risked to a large extent in terms of power supply has been developed, water is available, and we're fully permitted. And the reality is that compared to some of the other great copper assets around the world, our ability to bring this to market quickly in a low-cost jurisdiction close to our market is another significant differentiator for this project.
Mm-hmm. On your website, you talk extensively about Avalon Mining being a socially responsible mining company. Can you explain as to what that actually means in practice?
Yeah, what that means in practice is doing what we say we're going to do, without harming the environment, without creating excessive pollution. We are very tuned into what's happening globally at the moment, and we want to minimize our carbon footprint as much as possible. So in all the decisions that we make in our design, we are thinking about our carbon footprint in the way that we operate, the way that we interact with our communities, and the way that we operate internally is all making sure that our ESG credentials are maintained. I'll give you an example. We did a gap analysis when we first started looking at this project, bearing in mind that the feasibility study was completed in 2011. It's fully permitted and all the environmental management plans are in place. But we felt that given where the world is right now, in the environment of 2011, the world has moved on. And so we are busy upgrading, not because we have to, but because we want to. We want to update our environmental management plans to be aligned to IFC requirements and Equator Principles 4, which we think is the responsible thing to do. So that's what we talk about when we say we're environmentally responsible, Andrew.
Mm-hmm. Looking ahead to 2022 and beyond, what are your sort of like specific sort of plans and key timelines that investors can expect? So, for example, you mentioned that you're private. Do you plan to go and list the company? Do you have like a timeline or a date in mind when you look to get into production?
Yeah, those are all very important questions. So for the remainder of this year, we want to finish the capital raising process. So we're looking at a fairly complex and large package. You know, these mines are complex, so they're expensive. Bearing in mind that already $400 million have been spent on this project, we're looking for a debt package and some equity as well. So we want to finalize that between now and the end of the year. Early next year, we'd like to recommence construction, bearing in mind that the project is 46% complete. And the work that we have done indicates that we've got about a 2-year construction period. So that would then take us to the end of 2023, with us commissioning towards the back end of 23 and getting into full production through the first 6 months of 2024. So that's the idea from a timeline perspective. In terms of your question around the IPO, it's a question we often get asked, as you can well appreciate. And we do have an idea and we do have a plan to IPO, but we don't want to do it until we're in production. We believe that we can put a financing package together that will get us into production. And we feel that if we IPO when we're in production, we will create better value for the shareholders. So that's the idea. And so that is probably within the first year of production, we'd start talking seriously about IPO.
Okay. You mentioned earlier about Pierre-Yves' experience, obviously, and previously being at Trafigura. I'm interested in learning a little bit more about your experience and your background, and also the rest of your team's experience as well.
Sure. Andrew, I'm a mining engineer, and I've been an operational fellow for 30 odd years. And I've had the great pleasure of working for some of the good companies around the world, like BHP Billiton, or BHP now, Anglo-American, De Beers, AngloGold Ashanti. And I've worked up through the African continent, North and South America, and in Australia. My focus is purely operational. I'm fixated about operational improvement and efficiencies, and that's really what I want to bring to the party. I have got some board experience, and my experience as an executive would also, I think, help in bringing this product to market. On the project side, we have got a gentleman by the name of Phil Price as our construction manager. Phil is West Australian based. He's built 8 copper cobalt or copper moly or copper gold projects around the world. He is a deeply experienced metallurgist who has focused on project execution and commissioning. And we're delighted to have Phil. He is a best-in-class project manager. The rest of the team are functional support at this stage at the senior level. Victor Chin, based out of Singapore, is our CFO and a financial man coming from the investment banking background. Our environmentalist is a young lady that was educated and is Mongolian and is based in Mongolia, and obviously understands the legislation really, really well, but has also got experience working for some of the bigger banks, including the World Bank. So we've got a diverse team with diverse experience sets that cover all aspects of our business. We have a group of seasoned mining executives on standby that we're talking to pretty much on a monthly basis. So that as soon as we pull the trigger, we will be able to mobilize a world-class construction and mining team to come in and help us get this project off the ground.
Mm-hmm. And one final question at my end is we are delighted to have Avalon Mining at Mines Money London in a few weeks' time. It's our first in-person event for 2 years. What are you and the rest of the Avalon mining team looking to achieve from attending Mines Money London?
Yeah, well, as you say, it's been 2 years since we've been able to have face-to-face meetings. So to catch up with old colleagues and friends is definitely going to be an aspect of it. But the focus for us at Mines and Money is to really engage with some of the people that we've been talking to via Zoom over the last 2 years about financing, building relationships again, and we want to close out this package over the next month. So, there's still an opportunity for people to get involved with our project, and we will be looking to close this out over the course of December, and we're open for discussions around people who would like to invest with us. And being in London, being able to have face-to-face meetings is exceptionally important to us.
Yeah, I mean, while sort of like Zoom is sort of like a great sort of like method to go and chat to someone else, unfortunately, you can't go and buy somebody a beer over Zoom, but I'll definitely be buying you a beer when you come to London, Johnny. So that was Johnny Velloza, Chief Operating Officer of Avalon Mining. I would really encourage listeners who are sort of like hearing this broadcast to go and check Avalon Mining out, either at Mines and Money London or also go and visit their website as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew.